So we have a DJ Kenzero who is here with us today. Let's welcome DJ Kenzero. Anyway, sir. And the evergreen, the solid one. Agegofana naye usisi wetu Nothemba Madumo. Thank you. The mics are on. We're going to run very simple session. You chat, share with us everything else. Let me just share with them what this session is all about, and we give it context. Hip-hop is probably the genre that is most influenced by jazz and is arguably the most popular style, with numerous samples taken from jazz. Hundreds and hundreds of rhythm and accomplishment are looped into, I think here they wanted to say accompanied by a couple of things from various recordings of jazz, creating a complete new sound. So in a nutshell, we say hip-hop has stolen some great elements of jazz, but to make it more nicer and relatable to our young people. So we've got DJ Kenzero, his unique style combining hip-hop, soul, funk, and jazz invites listeners to give ear to the history of music as the sound flows from one genre to the other. His talent extends being a club DJ to writing scores for television drama and assisting with the production on local artist album. Are you guys forgotten? That as I now about to finish, like, you already interrupt me, Gandhi. Can't we rehearse this thing nicely? Okay, wait, let's do it nice. Let's do it nice. So I'm going to start here. His talent extends being a club DJ to writing scores for television drama and assisting with production of local artists. This one is a remarkable DJ with a remarkable story. DJ Kenzero. Sorry, we have this, so please give me time. Okay, you're doing well, right? So let's introduce our legendary Nothemba Madumo. Nothemba Madumo compiles, produces, and hosts the Urban Jazz Experience, a jazz music program on Metro FM since 2008. She's also the owner and MD of Forever Jazz Pty Ltd, a company offering production and presenting and content service for radio and television, broadcasting and event. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Nothemba. Thank you very much. You introduce yourself and run with it. I will interrupt you when we come to the questions.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. First of all, thank you for the welcome. And I was saying to Sis Nothemba earlier, sitting there, I wish I was you guys in my days to find these platforms that give opportunities to students to ask questions, to see where they can channel their careers. So feel lucky to be in the room, and thank to Joy of Jazz and Osmonto for putting this together. Please put your hands together for that.
That's true, Kenny Kenzero. We were talking about the fact that, wow, we wish when we were young, we had opportunities like you guys to, engage and chat to people who are in the spaces where we want to be. And I'm just grateful that I'm invited to share the little that I know, because there's so much out there, so much information, so much to know and to learn. I'm consistently learning every day. And I learn even from people like you, because
Yep.
you see things differently from what I probably know and what I've been exposed to. And I love the fact that the young people of today are even more open-minded and wanting to explore and experience different things in the arts. And again, just like Kanziro says, if I were you, I'd feel very privileged to be in this room and engaging on the things that interest you. So give yourselves a round of applause as well.
So we're supposed to talk about the subject where we connect hip hop and jazz.
Yeah. I don't know why they asked me to talk about hip hop and jazz, but the connection is there.
Yeah.
For me, from my understanding, Kanzero, that hip hop is a title
Yeah.
more than a music style.
True.
You know what I mean? Because hip hop was there long before it was called hip hop. Because my understanding is that hip hop is a way of expressing yourself artistically,
Yeah.
either with words and in poetry or the spoken word or the different ways of doing it. And I think with jazz from back in the 50s and 60s, 20s and 1930s, I think it was already there because scatting is a way of expressing yourself without actually singing. You're producing sounds, You also, poetry comes into it, incorporating poetry into
Skating
into-
and beatboxing.
and
kind of
beatboxing,
close,
and so those things existed, before what became popular as hip hop in the 70s, here more prominently in the 90s, in our country. So that relationship has always really been there.
Yeah. So, I mean, just for other context, this year hip hop turns 50. So, if you think about where it started in 73, that's 73, right? The people that influenced this genre we know as hip hop is a Jamaican immigrant who lived in the Bronx in New York. I was privileged to meet him 3 years ago and went to where he lives and where he started. And the house that is supposed to be the house that started the first official hip hop party, which is another interesting angle is that wasn't his party. And this is what I was talking about on Sunday with Pesi, that that was his sister's party. So women have always been adjacent and parallel to hip hop, but somehow sidelined, So if you want to be really truthful about how hip hop started, a woman basically gave birth to hip hop because. And then Kool Herc just became the star, who was the guy who was DJing, and they did the flyer. As we know how events happen now, you do a flyer, you book a DJ. Generally, obviously, it's male dominated. But yeah, give credit that a woman basically gave birth to hip hop 50 years ago. And that was started with a Jamaican DJ who used to fuse all styles of music when DJing. By the way, there was only one turntable when they were DJing, not two, not like today. It wasn't evolved where you were able to mix a song. You would play one song, take the vinyl, put another one during the silence, right? Every time you had to do that. But then they thought about a thing where they had a guy that used to announce on the mic when there was a car that was parked in or something that was happening. So the thought was, while he was DJing, between the breaks, the guy would talk and say, Mang Mang opakile koloi, can you move, what, so that the record could play, right? But that became a thing where they had now charming people who became MCs. There was no MC before hip hop. So the MC would shout out like, everybody in the place, hands in the air while the guy is flipping the record. And that's how an MC was born. We've now known as a rapper. So that's how my controller was basically making announcements at the party of whatever was happening. But think about how we can connect this to jazz. The records that were played were reggae, rock, and everything else. And then soon they discovered that there was a group of people that liked a part of the song called the break. So the break happened in a lot of the funk and 70s songs where the drummer takes over, right? So when the drummer took over, that's when the B-boys would get on the dance floor and do that. And the discovery of then, how about we elongate this break that normally lasts about 10 seconds and repeat it. That's how two turntables were conceived, so that they can keep the break longer for the break dancers to dance. So I've connected the DJ, the MC, and the breaker. The genre that happened before that existed was graffiti. Graffiti, if you want, you can take it to the ancient Egyptian times when people of the old time would send messages or write instructions on the walls that lasted for however many years. So now spray painting became a thing in the 70s where before 73, there was already a guy who was doing graffiti. But those were the guys who then did the flyers for the hip hop parties. So there's 4 elements that are officially spoken about when you talk about hip hop. It's DJing, MC, breaking, and spray painting, which is graffiti. Those are the 4 official hip hop elements. Now, if we have to tie it to the music, there were kids who were sitting with their moms and their dads, record collections. Those were the records they were playing out. And then realizing certain parts of the songs were liked by the crowd. And then they would find these machines called loopers, which are MPCs. Then they would loop the parts that they think people like, put the drums underneath, and that's how sampling was born, with a machine called the SP1200. There were machines before, but SP1200 revolutionized producing. But then these kids started stealing and using their mom's jazz records to make these songs that were sampled from these jazz records. So you'll find a Miles Davis song in a hip-hop song, in a Rakim song. You'll find a John Coltrane song in a guy called Emphatic Tabs from right here at home. He lives in Lesotho, from Lesotho, but we've taken him as a South African. So to us, back home, now with a group called POC, sampling local jazz musicians. So I don't know if this connection is now making sense, how we end up with jazz hip-hop. And then jazz hip-hop became a genre because you have groups like Diggable Planets, Tribe Called Quest, who were strictly doing jazz hip-hop as a genre. So sampling jazz records and making this hip-hop genre that was called. I don't know if I'm still long-winded.
No. You're actually doing fine because especially because I wanted to add to the fascinating element of the sampling, where and also part of the reason was because, especially in the US, the educational system, when they stopped music education at schools, it then meant that the students were no longer learning how to play instruments. This is why they were using existing music and records to now, produce the hip hop tracks that they would then do the spoken word. This is where the sampling now of the records from their parents that existed now started. And of course, evolving into using synthesizers and electronics instruments now to develop what also has become, today. But
that's an interesting angle.
Yeah, that's the reason why they started using LPs, and because they couldn't play music.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting aspect in that you're sitting here going, what is a DJ doing at a hip hop, at a jazz festival? So I hope now it connects where you understand that it started with sampling, and it kind of took a 360 where I have a few band variations of one of them, which I'm performing at Standard Bank Jazz Festival on Saturday with, that are informed by the jazz samples we used to hear from beats, and now we're performing those beats live. And that's why you have a DJ at a jazz festival,
Yeah.
in a nutshell. Because
Absolutely.
a lot of people have asked, wow, what is that guy doing on the lineup? So I'm basically taking those jazz samples that were planted into jazz hip hop and reperforming them live as now a hip hop genre that's performing at a jazz festival, if that makes sense. I'm sure you'll have some questions, but that's how we can kind of connect
the two.
this jazz hip hop situation.
And I think also now for jazz artists that are now working with hip hop artists, even the likes of Miles Davis, who when he did what was it, the
Doo-wop sound.
the doo-wop sound, the jazz
Hip hop.
diehards were swearing at him like, what are you doing?
Yeah. He did that with Easy Mo B, who was a hip hop producer for Notorious B.I.G.
Exactly.
Biggie.
Even with Brentford Marsalis.
Brentford Marsalis.
Doing it with funk, what do you call it?
Something La Funk.
He
I
did.
see the cover. I see the album cover.
Roy Hargrove.
Buckshot La Funk.
Buckshot La Funk. Yeah, and then Roy Hargrove also working with, hip hop artists. And even here at home, we've got these amazing young bands that are incorporating the South African jazz into the spoken word. We're talking about Biko's, what do they call? They are called
Pupolga Biko.
Pupolega Biko. Yes, exactly. And the guy who are now doing Abosia.
Yeah, Siam Tembu, The Brother Moves On.
The Brother Moves On. Those. This is what's happening currently, and using these jazz elements and I think in just my last statement is the importance of music in relation to what is happening in society.
Yes.
And how even with hip hop, when it was introduced, it was a way of expressing the frustrations, the pain of oppression, of racism, of the state of society in the US, and even here at home as well. It was an outlet of the struggles of the black person. So, and the music was the most, available way of, letting out your frustrations and developing it into a culture and a lifestyle as well. Because, you must see how jazz people and hip-hop people get dressed and express themselves. I've seen some outside with boots this high, but flat.
Yeah.
And of course, pants and things. But that's just the thing about us black people. We are just the most creative human beings on this planet. We're colorful. We are. Yes.
Yeah.
Inyasmos,
Can't stop us.
And we mustn't lose that.
Yeah.
No one must restrict us. That freedom of who you are and the belief of yourself and your identity must stay there all the time, and be proud of who you are and express yourself in purple if you want, or yellow and black, of course.
So before we take questions, I think just to round off maybe the context is, you ask yourself again, there's a hip hop DJ on the podium talking. I happen to own more jazz. Well, when hip hop started or DJing started, we used to use these things called vinyl, right? These are like these big black plates that you probably see spinning. So those were the music those were our MP3s of the day. So after vinyl, you had CDs and tapes. I happen to have more jazz record collection than I do any genre, and I'm supposed to be a hip hop DJ because that's the foundation of everything that I do. So just for context, there's some validation on why some of us sit here. So maybe let's get to the questions.
And I'm really sitting here because I'm known as a jazz DJ, but trust me, I listen to everything. I listen to everything. In fact, my set on Friday might surprise quite a few because, there's jazz elements in the music that I'll be playing, but I also decided because it's the last set of the day, let it be a little hyped up. It's a Friday, let it be hyped up. And so my set is, you're not going to sit and listen to a da-ba-dee-da-da-da-da. No. You're going to be on your feet. That's,
That's the point.
In fact, Mantua said, "Real battle jive." Okay.
Genau. Genau.
No, cool. Yeah, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Usisi Notema Matumo and DJ Kenzero. We are so lucky. We are so lucky to have you sitting here and these young people who are starting right at the infancy of their career, they are already getting this rich knowledge that we are giving. I was saying now on Radio 2000, the biggest mistakes we have, I hear you, Uti, I'm a boost. Of course, I'm wearing one, so I nearly fell offended, but I know. I allow.
Khona ngwabonile.
Yeah, lawangaka.
Afika la
Yeah.
Marihili saw. Ngithi,
Now,
hey, uyahamba lo sisi.
The key story there is that the entry to South African music in many instances is that you are taken by fame and glamour and you become a celebrity too quick. And we want to tell you the truth that being a celebrity, the glamour and the fame is man-made. We have an expiry date on it, and also we've got a big dustbin to dump you in it. All right? So if you come into the industry to be famous and glamorous, you will know that people will love you at first, and we will make you be loved by the people. But we will also make you not be loved by the people. Because once you pull out of that special contract, that recording contract, I'm able to instruct all my platforms and say, I no longer have a relationship with Miss Mang Mang, and therefore none of our music in the catalog can be played. And we issue out instruction to say, we request you as you leave not to play some of the music that was recorded during our time. To some extent, we also say, please do not use the brand name we gave to you. And that is why you see even groups, they'll have to go solo. You remember Theo of Mafigizolo? Could not do it, but they had to reunite because we built the brand. So it is very, very important for you as you sit there and listening to all this knowledge, remember your own journey. Be the musician you are. Craft your brand from now. Use the social media platform to start that journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take questions now. Yeah, someone wanted to clap. Just do that. Yabona wena, you are gone, wena. After this, you are gone. My PA is sitting here. Lawyer, nagegel. Yeah, so that bambo on TV, pass sol. Thank you very much. Let's take questions. We start here. Number 1. Number 2, I remember I did not give you the opportunity. Number 3. Is it a hand? Yeah, number 4, and then we still have some bit of time. I'm gonna do a next round, but Usiswetu will have to leave. If she leaves, we'll see how the questions and how long they are, and then we just grab more. Number 1, please, let's give roving mics. Roving mics. Keep it nice and short.
Hello, hello. My name is Anesu, originally from Zim, but I've been in the Eastern Cape for a while now. And now I've been in Joburg for the last couple of months because of the jazz. My question is, how do we move this from here to the Eastern Cape? Because a lot of people that come out here and try and make it out here are not really from here. Trying to get it done this side without the family support or just the familiarity of your own surroundings is not easy. How do we make sure that those that stay at home can still get to do all of this without having to travel this far? Yeah, that's pretty much it. From like a social entrepreneurial role.
Okay, as in because the resources
Yes, ma'am.
in the area where they live are limited. Yo, I don't know. I guess I think with the dawn of the internet, it exposes you to different platforms and ways in which you can garner information and communicate. Because now a lot of people, they're in their houses, in their rooms for weeks on end without getting out, but their output is so much because they're just sitting in front of their laptops and using online to get around, and do things and create there. So it's not more about the interaction with people, which is also quite a sad thing. Now that we communicate less personally, but I think try and see what you can use with the resources that you have. Technology has provided that bridge, I think.
I think the honest truth is that question is above us as practitioners. That's more of a town planning, city planning, municipalities bringing business in their own provinces. So it's less of an artist thing than it is a governmental to a provincial problem. But it doesn't mean that you can, I think what Sis Notembo is saying is use the tools you have. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Number 2. Number 2. I'm going to number 1 lo. Yeah. Open number 2. Or sekas khotliwe. Oh yes.
Hello, hello. My name is Dolphin. I'm a music student, and when it comes to hip hop, I especially do like this topic a lot, infusing jazz and all of that stuff, because people look at hip hop mostly about how old it's been, but not like the longevity of it, that like it survived this long and what we can do like here on out. Okay, so you have how it's evolved like over time into different subgenres, all of that stuff, but like the core of it, of hip hop, is like, okay, like let's leave this genre behind. Let's focus on.
Ibambela.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
How do you?
Bambi mic la.
Oh, okay.
Sizokwazi ukuzwa question.
Okay, okay. We need to khuluma ngesikhathi.
Ngisho
Okay, cool.
Ibambela. Mawuyibambela, sewu-emotion.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Just ask a nice simple question so that they get it.
Okay, so how do young people that want to add something to hip hop do so without having, of course there's a stigma of like, okay, like hip hop is this old thing and all of that, but how do you add something into hip hop without like knowing for sure that like you can do so against the pressures of like what's going on in the industry, with the way music is swinging to other genres? No, like with those genres, it's like, it's music, we accept it, we love it, all of that, it's cool. Yes, like dancing, all of that. There's a place
question
for
is,
it. And
Yeah, we're gonna lose it.
The question is,
okay,
So we've got the question.
for sure.
How do young people like yourself
Yes.
contribute in the building up of the genre without being in the pressure that hip hop is It's an old musical genre and it's no longer there. But that's out, it's not there in this country. If you are a hip hop artist, you can still improve on that genre. Just think about it now. Big Zulu came into hip hop when everybody was on my piano. True. So that's basically where the question is. We say, Ibambe, can you say right? Say right.
Okay.
Say right. That's what emotion, man. Yeah. What else can you do?
Yeah, I think another slightly misplaced question. It's a matter of talent and how you want to express yourself. I cannot sit here and tell you do hip hop in Shangaan or Zulu to be more prevalent. Whatever's in your heart as a musician and potential musicians, the more you look deep from what you want to contribute, the better. Don't ask people, hey, what's lacking? What should I do? Because then they will control you because they would have told you what to do. Yeah. What Sis Notemba was saying, you really have to come out and say, this is my lane, this is my genre. Whether it takes me 10 years, 2 years to make it in this section, let me stick to it, right? So you guys probably don't even know who I am because I've trailblazed a different way. And it took me a very long time to get to this point where I'm performing with bands. People didn't believe this idea of hip hop performing with bands live on stage. And I believed in the idea, look, 25 years later, so just stick to your own creative, output.
Truth, man, truth. Number three.
Can I just add very quickly? I was interviewing Robert Glasper, who's performing at the Joy of Jazz. And I asked him the question of how he sees jazz, hip hop, R&B going forward, because he does all three. He does all three and more, actually. And he was saying he won the Grammy for R&B. And I don't know if you remember the story. Chris Brown said, who the F is Robert Glasper for winning R&B, because he didn't, even though he apologized afterwards, because in his head, he's not in his radar for R&B, So, and Robert simply said, you know what? I stick to me, and I don't know who's doing what in R&B or who's doing what in hip hop or I just do me. So do you. That's all. Just do you. It'll take you where you want to go.
Just do you. Number three.
Sanborani. I think my question is going to be related to my brother from the Eastern Cape. I don't know. He said something in terms of lack of resources for my townships and all those things. So at times when we do events, like I'm an event organizer, so my question is, for instance, we're doing some workshops around in the townships and then we lack resources. You guys are I would say, the icons in the art industry. So is it possible for us to invite you maybe to come and facilitate in such workshops so that we can unearth talent in the township? Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Most definitely. I mean, it answers his question. It elevates a little bit because then there's promoters and people who are responsible for social cohesion to create these events. You can't just depend on Joburg people to do it. And I like that you're initiating and you're basically preambling a possible, can I ask you guys to do it? A couple of years ago, I used to do a program that Gauteng Sports and Recreation used to do where we went to different sections of townships and doing workshops. So again, it's a municipality thing. So, but you can start it without them. They'll join you later. So in short, yes, if you invite us and it makes sense, the schedule allows, and all the things are aligned, yes. Because you can't say to me, yeah, but I asked you there, now you can't make it. But if the date allows, if the facility is allowed, if everything allowed, yes, definitely, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
And number four.
Whatever he said, I agree.
Number four.
Hi. At the beginning of your presentation, you mentioned the blending of the two genres between jazz and hip hop. and you mentioned Buckshot Lefong, and my question is based on did Buckshot Lefong actually give birth to something like acid jazz? Because when you research in their music, they tell you they're doing acid jazz. They don't refer to hip hop. So my question is, did it give birth, that blending, did it give birth to acid jazz, or was acid jazz there before Buckshot Lefong?
You want to take that?
Yeah, acid jazz. No, hey, it's also a UK thing.
Yeah,
Acid jazz more than an American thing.
yeah.
You know, and also, you know, you think of the Herbie Hancocks and the, you know, a lot of, especially with the introduction of, you know, the synthesizers and the,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
because he brought that in,
Yeah.
and with Chick Corea,
Yeah.
also bringing in, instead of just the piano
Piano.
in its organic, and
Yeah.
you know, so those different sounds, bringing in all these bands that now came with that, and then there was the UK influence as well, which came in with a different type of dance and funk. That's, you know, so there's no like one place where something grows. It's influenced by different things and different spaces and different cultures as well.
So maybe the answer is direct no, because acid jazz in the UK started in the 80s, and Buckshot Love Funk, that album was in the 90s. So a simple answer is no. But yes, the genres interrelate somewhere.
All right, thank you very much. Can I squeeze one more question? Just one more question.
From a woman, I hope.
Students as well? From a lady and a student as well?
Yes, please.
I see you, I see you. Okay. Sissy? Are you Sissy?
On the left there.
Okay, where is the Sissy? Give a Sissy the mic.
Yes.
Yeah, we there. A student? I saw your hands are up. Students from our VIP? Any question this side? No, no. Any? I saw hands here. You're chickening out now? What? Okay. Hlabasis.
Dumelang, ke nna Mohau from Pretoria. I wanna ask Hore if you wanna start as a DJ, cause like Lena Listomile in a different era where you were using vinyls and Rena no reverkisari virtual DJ. So as a jazz DJ, like how do you practice your sets, and which people do you go to if ufuna ama gigs and slots, you know? Cause like there's not a lot of jazz DJs. It's like my first time hearing about it today. So like now I'm just like intrigued and fascinated, and I wanna, you know, try it out. And also playing with a DJ and a band, like I wanna know like how do you get to that as well?
Okay. With me, I think I'm a failed musician, you know, in the sense that I wish I could play. I wish I could be a musician, but I can't. So even when I play, and I play like in my head, you know, if I was a musician, I'd play this song. Well, one kind of thing. But anyway, you know, you'll be surprised as to how many jazz DJs are around. Cause ask him. It's just that it depends on where you go. If you stop going to Amapiano, you might come across them. But they are around, and it's like any other space. It's the networking. You know, go meet people, chat to them, like we're chatting now. You never know who will help you out. Talk to people that you see and you like what they work, the work that they do. They'll, you know, if they're good people, they will help you connect to the right place in your area and what have you. playing, my set is going to be accompanied by a percussionist. I don't know if you know him, Thomas Gianni Akuru. Now, he's a percussionist who's played with a whole lot of people around the world. He was a percussionist for Incognito. He was a percussionist. He played with Lionel Richie. He played with Shakira. He played with jazz music. His father is Johnny Tiani, and he played with his father when he grew up, you know, and he's played with many South African, you know, artists. And also, he's also into different styles. He can play any different styles, from Afro jazz to Afro Cuban to anything. So it's very important for you to be open-minded, but also rooted in who you are as an African and a South African. You know, so even in your play of jazz, it's because even South African jazz has so many different styles. So explore that and learn about it and know more about it. Then you'll find yourself in the spaces you want to be.
Yeah, I think it starts with the collection you have, the music you have at home in your computer. You have to imagine how you can blend those songs, even if you're not mixing directly. Like, what would you do in front of an audience with the music you have? And then take the tool and learn how to use the tool. You guys are in a time when there's a plethora of options for mixers, for consoles, laptops, virtual DJing. So you are in good hands. Don't worry about vinyl. Use what you have. If you have MP3s, at least try buy the music in the first place before you play it. And then, yeah, take the collection. You know, the best advice I could give you is start playing at your friends' parties if they accept the type of music you play. Just be the DJ. Even if you're not wiki-wiking, use the sound system at home. Just see if you can create a mood and a moment around people with your selection.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I started DJing, because back in our days, there was always a section where you had to ask a girl to dance, right? It's just a little quick story. Every time at the parties that we used to do in the 80s to the 90s, there was a section where you had to get a partner and dance, depending on whichever sex you liked at. I was always afraid to ask a girl to dance, and I was always at the DJ thing, pressing play. And I understood that I'm making these people's mood change because I'm creating the selection for them. That's where I thought I had the power to create a mood, and being a DJ became a thing that I thought was possible.
Wow, that's great. And also, I like the fact that now a lot of the music that exists, there are many different versions of songs. And my very last and quick story is, like, my son is a hip hop head and plays basketball. So him and his friends were playing music, the hip hop song that sampled a Nina Simone track. And they're playing basketball. Then I asked them, do you know the song that is sampled on this, that Nina Simone? No. But anyway, then I played them the original. Now, they dumped the hip-hop one. They just wanted to play the original, you know. So it's very important for you to also, especially now that you've got all these playlists that are available and different versions online of tracks, just listen to them. So even the crowd you play for, read the crowd in what they're into. My friends don't let me DJ at our parties because they think I'll play jazz. So when I play them something that's, you know, soulish and R&B, they're like, oh, this song is available with a jazz touch. And, you know, then they're like, okay, you can play now, you know?
Yeah, another thing is, again, you've got tools, you've got social media. Put a playlist together, publish it on Mixcloud. That's how you can garner an audience. So, like, give yourself a DJ name. Unfortunately, that prefix you don't have to go to school for, unfortunately. Because some of us DJs without qualifications. No one can call themselves doctor or professor unless you're Dr. Kumalo or Dr. Dre. You can't be a doctor without going to school. So get, depending on what you want to do, get the prefix, get a name, do a playlist, get on your Instagram, send to people. If they like it, that's how you build an audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, Notemba Matumo and DJ Kenzero. Let's respect them, let's respect them, let's respect them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. It was lovely. Yeah, can help. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, sure. No, thank you very much. We're now going to get to our last session. But before that last session, Billy, please, where is the lady who sang here? Who she came and said da 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 da. Where is she now? Yeah, come here. Come here. Yeah. We can't be music industry and don't do things right, eh? Yeah. Your talent is amazing. I'm telling you now. All right? I'm telling you because I'm an executive in the music industry and I sit in various boards that are important to grow this music industry. All right? So now, I had brought back my friend, Billy. Billy, please come. Yeah, let's make magic here. All right. So, I have asked, what will it take for grassroots projects to feature, what's your name? To feature Kilebogile. Just one song. Just one song, Billy. She's gone because we will be watching. She didn't know I'll call her back here. She thought she's just doing her thing as usual. But this is a new chapter now. I can tell you now. I'm telling you now. So Billy is a yes?
Yes.
Is a yes, Billy? Yes. Is a yes, Billy? Yes. That's it. Yeah? It's a yes. I don't want the politics. It's a yes.
Yes,
No?
yes.
You are available?
Always.
Always. Pindi, please stand up. I wanted to see you. That's Pindi. That's my PA. You make sure that all your numbers, all of them, including Zaga Gogwase next door, all of them. I will then arrange the time, when, and we'll make noise about it. Let's see how it goes. All right. Thank you very much, Billy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not such a pretty face only after all. I make things happen. Our next special guest, very important person. Zoe, are you here? Zoe, are you here? Introduce a guy. Let's go. All right. So our special guest is Zoe. There is a gentleman who said, you guys, you are in Joburg. You're expensive to travel around the world or our country, townships, rural areas. Forget that. I woke up in Ramaila Mapitan in Skukun. That's where my home is. All right? Came all the way to do this. There are no more boundaries about this thing. If you want to do it, you will do it. They knew that I must come here and facilitate. All right? Am I expensive? Yes, I am. I'm an academic in this space. I'm very expensive. All right. So, but do we understand the importance of sharing information? Yes. Some of us do it for free. So please, brother, connect with my PA. If you want me for any session, bring me on. I don't care where you are. Because the young people of this country, they don't need anything from us. They just want knowledge. They just want us to babamba njengesandla. Just ngesandla nje umfake. That's all what our young people are doing. And I'm asking all my celebrities and big people sitting here to share the numbers. I will share my number publicly. All right? I'm open about it. My wives know exactly that I answer every single. Yeah. See. All right. So, Pindi, we give them our number. They must talk to us on WhatsApp. We share information because this session must not end. We must continue shaping like we have done now. I am sure, definitely sure, that is your born star. Yeah? She is a star, Angie. And we will make her a star. We're now getting into our last session, which is harmony. Yeah, look, I want to be employed again for Joy of Chairs, right? We are back on time. We are back on time. Yeah? Yeah, so be louder so that by Israel. We are back on time. Yeah. 5 minutes of it, we were making history. We brought Billy here. We brought Usisila so that we change her life. Yeah? I gave it that 5 minutes. Eh? Yeah? So we are not spilling. So now is a session. Harmony. Zomudiha, please come. Zoe Waruna. A lot of common chords, progression featured in jazz can be found in various styles of popular music. But R&B, blues, and folk feature them especially. For example, the blues, some more advanced processes have also been borrowed from jazz and make up a lot of the material even today. Who is Zoe? Bayakwazi Zoe, yayizwa. Abakwazi nje bayakuthanda. Yabona abakwazi bayakuthanda. But let me do this. Zoe Mudiha born and raised in KwaZulu-Natal, South African. She represents the present and the future of South African music, drawing from human experience, identity, storytelling. She creates a distinct sound to communicate a modern evolution African story without losing its essence. Bangabe niyaklapa phela before ngiphela. Asilungiseni angifuni manje because it's not coming out that way. As you make, then mina ngiyahamba Stella the series So I'm going to start here. Drawing from the human experience, identity, and storytelling, she creates a distinct sound to communicate a modern evolution African story. Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe!
Sanibonani. Anisebahle nje. Hayi banisebahle. Kuthiwani? Oh, hayi abanye bayabonga, abanye bathi ngifana nabo, nami ngiyabonga. My name is Zoe Mudeha. I am a singer, songwriter, and performer, and I'm so happy to be here with you this afternoon. A big thank you to Standard Bank, to the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, Standard Bank Arts, and all the partners, all the sponsorships, all the collaborations that have made this possible. Have you guys been enjoying the other workshops that were happening today? And which schools are here with us? Ngibona uniform. Isiphi isikole? Hey, oh yeah, tuzodinga ukungisiza, anginizwa kahle. Which school is it? So there's Willow Crescent in the house. Give it up for them. And then in Ango Blue, Machanene, Standard Bank, what's your school? Tabajabula. Tabajabula in the house, make some noise. Are there any other schools that I haven't announced? Akhuluma yedwa khona ngizozwa kahle? Boys? Morris? Oh, Morris Access Center for Music. I feel like I've visited you guys before. Please give them a round of applause. And is that all the schools? Iphe shotai. Ithi khulumo yedwa zithandwa zami khona ngizozwa. Central Johannesburg College, make some noise. Is there one more? Is all protocol observed? Is there one more school? Which one is it? Music Academy of Gauteng, make some noise for them. I think that covers everyone now, right? Iyiphi manje enye? SWGC, make some noise for SWGC. Sesiqedile ke manje. Okay. I want to also just greet all the educators, all the principals, all the teachers that might be here. I'm very happy to be here with each and every single one of you. I am a music scholar myself, and I would like to share a little bit about my journey, just as an icebreaker. But I heard Uti Luzipho was here, and she says you guys are very interactive, so I'm excited for us to engage. I don't want to tell you what I think you want to hear, but I want us to actually have a conversation, a practical conversation that can help everyone. And where I can help, I will. And where I do not know, I will simply say so. Deal? Azok. So a little bit about myself. I was born in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, and I was raised in Pietermaritzburg, Mbali, Ewan, a very beautiful township that I come from. I was raised by my grandparents, ugogo nomkhulu, and I was also raised by a community. What I love about township community, what I love about being umuntu owakhule emakhaya as well, is that it was always about community. It wasn't just your four walls and your family that you share DNA with, but it was also omunye gogo, owami gogo. Omunye ankela, owami ankela. Someone else's sister is my own sister. And because of that, I was able to appreciate and really observe good time, man. With this family that I'm born into, as well as this family that I inherit, I'm busy observing that, yes, we love music. We have such a beautiful taste in music. We are listening to it when we spring clean. We are listening to it when we come from church. We are listening to it when we want to make some noise. We are listening to it when we want to quiet down as well. So I grew up listening to jazz, kwaito, soul, R&B, hip-hop, all the different kinds of music. And I realized there that what I really enjoyed about it was the fact that music is there to reflect the times. Music sees us. Music allows us to create memories. I'm sure nani niyacabanga ukuthi there's that one song, when you think about it, you're like, oh, my childhood. You know, for you, what song is that? Which song is that for you? But Sister Bettine. Well, I love a truth. I love a truth. So for when besides Lo Sister Bettina, which song is that for you?
For my whole up, MT.
MT, okay. And who else?
Aries, Paradise.
Okay. Some hip-hop cats. And we have some of the best in the country, might I say. So for me, it was Abo Mamleta Mbulu, Kefa Simenya, Bumshaga, Lebo Matosa, Brenda Fassi, Trompisi. There's a little bit of Huma, I think I mentioned Huma Sigela already. Huma Sigela as well. There's a little bit of Beyonce, a little bit of, yes, Pumala. So it was all these incredible artists from different parts of the world that really just spoke a message that reminded people of who it is that they are. And I realized now ukuthi yazi ngingathanda ukuthi reflect the human experience back to us and make a music that reminds us of who it is that we are, you know? So for me, that is really the beginning of that. And I've been able to then learn tools along the way, such as the rhythm that I'm sure you guys were told about, hip hop and jazz, and harmony, which is such an important part of music. But I wanted to very much say from the first point that for me, Lang Pumakona is my first school. My first school did not start with formal education, even though I had the opportunity to do that. So ngafunda, did a few competitions and things like that, and I was privileged enough to go to the school just up the road from here to study classical piano, classical clarinet, classical voice, and I met a lot of incredible people who we also just created amongst ourselves. So even though we were hearing about all these classical composers, about Beethoven, Bach, Stravinsky, Mozart, we were hearing about all these people, but we were also, in that 8 hours after we were practicing, we would actually learn and make music together. And I think for me, that was such a powerful thing when it came to finding that sense of identity. Now, when we think about harmony as a word, I thought it was a very interesting word to talk about today because I think I translate it in two kinds of ways. There's harmony, by definition, a series of two notes that play at the same time. That is harmony. So if you sing, uti ah, omonyeti ah, that is harmony. Just by definition of that. And I've been able to see it being translated in sounds, in instruments, in voices. And from those two notes, that is where magic is made. So whether you are playing in an orchestra, mhlampu idlalela flute, violin, clarinet, whether you are playing in your school choirs or singing in your school choirs, whether you are making sounds, mhlampa abanye benu, you said you like Aries and MT, maybe for you, you also have a studio, I'm assuming mhlampe at home, you are working within that space of harmony. And harmony is able to create so many different kinds of feelings. The way ngicabanga khona harmony is that I relate it to a human being. When you meet someone, and uthola ukuthi yazini, I get along with this person. We share the same jokes. We share lunch during school time. We talk about our school shoes, the ones that we got. We share hairstyles, we relate about the same things, we listen to the same music, and I relate that back to the music as well, is that in harmony, there's certain notes that when you play them, a series of chords, they're able to create different feelings. Uthola ukuthi enye can make you feel calm, enye can make you feel healed, enye inobumajayivana obuthize, enye is able to just allow you to write words to it. With some of that music, then you don't necessarily have to write words to it. But in the same way, there's also those people that you told ukuthi amagazethu our hlangani. They don't, ngathi uyangicika nje lo muntu, I don't even know why. Or mhlampe nomona nje ngaye. Mhlampe muhle. And I think you can translate that into music as well. There's certain sounds and harmonies in music that you can find mhlampe in film scoring for a horror film. This makes me feel crunchy when I'm listening to it. It does not make me feel comfortable when I'm listening to it. Or this makes me feel scared. So it translates the story that I'm watching of that particular movie. And so that's the way that I relate harmony to. Yes, I've been able to get the formal training, but for me, harmony is a thing that comes first from feeling. I do not like to overthink the notes that I'm playing on a guitar, the notes that I'm playing on a piano, or the notes that I'm singing. I do not like to overthink it. I think that the music is the thing that tells me where to go. The music is the thing that says, okay, this is what I want from you today, Zoe. You know? And I think it's beautiful then to translate umculo from that place of knowing that your own backgrounds, your own stories, your own ways of thinking, the ideas that you have about the world, the way you look at the world, the things you're just thinking about, Nje, are worthy to go into that music, and that music is going to be there to hug whatever it is that you have to say. Yabon. But besides the harmony of music, I actually wanted to break this word down, kancane. Because in my mind, I was like, okay, there's the harmony of music, there's blues, there's jazz, there's kwaito, there's film scoring, there's so many things, nje ngomculo. But we never look at the people behind the music. You know, we never think, what harmony are they creating? So namhlanje I also wanted to discuss the idea of the harmony of people. Because where two or more notes are gathered, there is music. But where two or more people are gathered, there is also music. And so I really wanted to break down the idea of being able to be a holistic human being while doing music. Where the best part of you is not on stage. Abantu mabek ncoma, that's the best you have to offer the planet. When you're off stage, you are not a pleasant person to be around. When you're off stage, you are never on time. So I really wanted to really get into that harmony of human being so that that is something that translates as an extension of yourself in the music. Abantu mabek ncoma, mabek lalela ukuthi uthini, mabelalela lento oyidlalayo, when they're listening to you sing and speak, they get the person that is coming from that. You know. Sisasonke. Mbona abantu behleka laphaya. Ngiyanibona. Anifihleki. So I think what I can share about the harmony of human is that it all begins with each and every single one of you first. So what I mean by that is, do you take care of yourself? Are you speaking nice words to yourself? Mawuyicabanga nje, do you say pleasant things ngawe? Or are you already your worst critic, where you say the most horrible things to yourself? Do you try to stay active? Bakhona benza ama sports in their schools, by the show of hands? I guess it's more music. This is very relatable. Nam, I didn't do much sport. Oh, okay, bakhona bang. Nam, I didn't do much sport because I was practicing 8 hours of the day. So there's that. But it's important for us to take care of ourselves and to honor that first, I think, when it comes to lento yomculo, to be able to be one with yourself, in harmony with yourself. And the ways that you do that are to speak good things to yourself. There's so many things that happen, and this life will always present one challenge after another. Please do not wait to grow up, because there will be more challenges waiting for you. You know, more bills to pay, more things to think about. But if you're able to just take care of yourself and say beautiful words to yourself first, that is already in harmony with who it is that you are. So, you can repeat after me. I am strong. I am smart. I am talented. I am worthy. I am handsome. I am beautiful. I have something incredible to contribute to this world. And that you shall do. I'm glad you think so. So, kuya ngalokho kuqala. And please don't take these words for granted, because as time goes by, you will find it necessary to say these things to yourself. But another way of being in harmony with music is also practical. You will find as you get into your careers of music that it's not just a one-man show. Uzoe Mutera doesn't happen the moment that I walk on stage. Yes, that is my name. That is who I am. But when I walk on stage, I am gathered also by my music family. Banda Banda, who does the musical direction, who plays bass. Sthe Bengu, who plays trumpet. Ire Polaji, also known as Ire on the beat. You call me Ire on the beat, Miss Mutira. So he does drums. Kurt Petrus and Lungelo Ngobo, who do keys. I mention the importance of these incredible gentlemen because without them, there is no harmony, there is no sound. It's just gonna be me by myself, kanje nanje. Ngithi ngicela ningizwe kahle ngifuna ukushintsha umhlaba. But can you hear that there's nothing else happening? Okay, fine, there's a Fender situation, there's a mark-based situation here, but that's just me by myself. But with these incredible gentlemen and all the beautiful musicians that I've had the opportunity to work with through the years, we are able to create that space of harmony in the music and as people. The most important thing that you can do is to respect the people that you collaborate with. It is a thing of recognizing that you are not walking by yourself. You are walking with your people if you believe in that. You are walking with the God in you if you believe in that. But you are walking with the highest gift. And that the people that you collaborate with are the same. They are also not walking alone. They are walking with their gifts. They are walking with their people. They are walking with their God if you so choose to believe in that too. So honoring each other on a human level, you will find that it becomes more important. And then it feeds into different things as well. For example, you go to rehearsals. Are you going to keep time when you go to rehearsals? Or are you always the last one to arrive? When you, for example, come to rehearsals, are you prepared? Are you sinking into the music? Mawuti, okay, yeah, Zoe, it's fine. We can confirm that these rehearsals are happening at this time. Are you going to honor the music by having a look at it and bonding with it and making meaning for yourself with it? Even when you go to choir practice, do you do that or you just sobona corner, you know? And I think that goes back into being in harmony with the music. When you move into a space, it will also be important to see, how do I represent myself? How do I share my story? If someone doesn't hear anything that I'm saying, what is it that I look like that already represents what it is that I stand for? And that's something also important. And then once you've established that look, how do you walk into a room? Are you nervous? Are you shy? Or do you say to yourself, I'm commanding the space? Not because I disrespect anyone in the space, but because I'm coming as my full self. And in so doing, you're able to also do what? Be in harmony with the music. So it all goes back to the music. And I think that's the beauty of what it is that we do. So even when you're composing your music by yourself, or you're playing your guitar, or you're playing your piano, and you're thinking about all these messages that are important to you, that feel like what you want to share with the world, it is important to then keep the other things in mind. When I walk into a space, am I a light in that space? And it doesn't even have to be a performance. Phela manje yonke into usula. Unjani ona? Ngaphila wena. Hey. It doesn't mean you have to be a presenter all of the time, but it's that sense of knowing that even if it's quiet, there's that sense of knowing that you walk into the room with, into space with, and you're able to then acknowledge your gift with that understanding that it's been placed in you. And that it's a gift that is unique to who it is that you are, you know. So I think for me, it really is the marriage between the harmony of music. Yes, we learn about all these scales, you know, Aeolian scales, Phrygian scales, blues scales. We learn about chord progressions, and we know Mhlampute 145 reminds us of some of our favorite South African records. Sometimes we lean onto that classical understanding, Guti Masiti. That's a trill in music, you know. But to be able to live and breathe into it is to be the best human being that you can be. And the reason I mention all of these things, Bantabahle, is that I'm very passionate about us living out our fullest potential as people. And that doesn't just happen in the 10,000 hours that you put into your craft when you're busy preparing for the piece that you need to learn or you know what it is that you have to do, but it's also the human being behind that. No one is perfect, no one is faultless. But if you are consistent, if you are hardworking, if you take care of people and you're pleasant to be around with, in the times that you fall short, because that happens. You might find someone will speak on your behalf and be like, "Hi, man. Oh, it's not usually like this, as Zoe. I'm not sure what happened, you know." So it ends up then protecting you. And then what? It goes back to you being in harmony with the music, you know. So I hope ngiyazwakala. Is everyone okay? And are there any questions that you might have? So we can maybe get a feeling of the room and have a conversation in that way.
You good?
I'm very good. Are you good, sir?
Oh, me. Me na lo. Vuza mina.
Wena lo. Wena lo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe Mudiga.
Just to double check, there won't be any Q's and A's.
It is. I'm getting into it. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm here for the Q&A so that we check who's there and we manage it nicely. We keep it nice and professional. All right. So we've got enough time for Q&A. I will start here. Please, let's do this so that it's nicely and conversational. You ask a question,
problem.
we answer. Question and answer. Can I have roving mics, please?
Coming.
Yeah, we've got some roving mics. Introduce yourself. If you've got a brand, do share. Keep like miracles do happen here. Le bone gore o busy jwang a o swa rona 2 minutes re me introduce itse ke di interview tse kae ka ntle ka kwa. She's gone, ne? She's gone. Yes.
Dumelang.
Yeah.
My name is Peta. I'm a music content creator. Zoe, I've had the great fortune of seeing you live many times. And you are someone who spreads themselves creatively. So since we are talking about music and harmony, I want to ask, who is your favorite person to harmonize with? And then also, what song of yours you think has the best harmonies as a thing? Those are my 2 double questions. Yeah.
Good to see you, Peter. I'm an admirer of your work, so it's good to see you. Hey. So the first question is, who's the person that I love to harmonize with the most? One of them is the incredible singer, educator, arranger, recording artist that you saw today. That is Titilu Zepo. So I enjoy harmonizing with her. And we actually go way back. There was a time where I was studying jazz in Cape Town, and we met at that time. And from that moment, I mean, it was like a house on fire, you know, to put it lightly. But also, we went to church together. So we would take turns. I would take soprano, and then yena thathe phansi, okay. Then we'd be singing praise and worship songs and having a beautiful time in that way. But even outside of that, we would also share stages. There was a group with myself, Titilu Zepo, and Spam Dlalose called Brew. And that was like a collective that we put together where we sang Amaculo Swathandayo and we harmonized that together. So I enjoyed that, and a shout out to Spam Dlalose. Another incredible person I love to harmonize with. I love singers with good ears because I think you can have so much fun, you know. And unlike buttons and keyboard and pressing, our press is our ears. You can't sing uma ungayizwa into. When you can't hear something, you can't translate it. And the second person is Umanana, who's a Grammy Award-winning songwriter. just to put some respect on him. But we also are part of a band called Seba Kapstadt, which has myself, Umanana, Sebastian, who does e-production and e-composition, and then Phil, who does production as well, so beats and things. So those are the people I love to harmonize with. And the second question, the second question. Ooh, I think the song with the best. So I love different things about different songs. But if I am to think from the top of my head, when it comes to like harmony, I love a song of mine called Inganegwane. And I love about it the fact that, yes! I love about it the fact yoguti kona iba jeke je gaga. And it's a 7/8 and a bass line that translates through that 7/8. And it's quite sparse. There's not much happening there. And then all of a sudden there's triads that you put, or that I put rather, in the music. Bam, 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 be, lo, lo, le, la, lo, 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 lo. And it creates a dissonance that you don't expect in the music if you are a musician and if you're listening out for it. But even if you're not educated in any kind of way in the music, there's something that pulls you in about that part. Because, hey, heartbreak, you know, so that's the song that I love in terms of harmony. And I'm exploring more harmonic vocal ideas in the next album that's coming out next year. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yes. Second question. Nice and short, then we are all on time. All right?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vezogohle, aka Vimo. My question is for educational sake. What can our vocalists do in terms of strengthening their ear when it comes to harmonies? Thank you.
Oh, I love that question. I'm sorry, I talk a lot, guys. I love music. I'm passionate about it. Sometimes I get carried away, but I'll try to make it a bit shorter. I love that question. So a vocalise is basically, whoever might not know vocalise, it's when you take mhlampe a solo from anyone. It can be any of your favorites. Mina, from the top of my head, I'm thinking of Charlie Parker. I don't sing like this much anymore, but anyway. Then you take that and you attach words to it. So mhlampu zoti. This is going to be really ugly, guys, so don't judge my songwriting. But mhlampe is something like, mina ngilana kule workshop, ijoy of jazz is obamnandi namhlanje. You know what I mean? So that's a vocalise. That's basically a vocalise. And yes, when it comes to singing, like I said before, we don't have strings, we don't have things that we touch to play the note. We need our ears for that. So what vocalises help with is ear training, because you have to go through very difficult passages and you have to train your ear to hear them. Sample, you're doing it slowly, bit by bit. And then you get better and better at it, and it teaches your ear to be able to hear those intervals. So I would definitely encourage ama vocalists, and it doesn't even have to be music from anywhere else. You can listen to some of the most incredible musicians we have here. You know, Abo Nduduzo Makatini, Dr. Nduduzo Makatini. And you can listen to one of his songs, listen to his solos as a singer. This applies for instrumentalists as well. But as a singer, you can listen to that, write that down, transcribe it, and then learn it slowly. It really helps with ear training. It's true, Bob.
All right. Third question. Why is the mic going this direction now? Let me check here first. Yeah, it was here, so it must be this side, yeah? Yeah, no, I'll give you a chance, but let's just do it orderly. Who's there? Okay, you are my last one, right? No. Ask your question. The lady in green or gentleman in green? A lady in green. Yeah, okay.
Can we have at least one more after the last one? Just one male, one guy?
Good
Just to
day.
get a-
Good day, everyone. I
Okay,
go by the-
okay, just hold on, we're doing
Okay, sorry.
family matter here.
Sibambe umcimbi.
So you want the voice of a male.
So I would love both. I know we've been having different
Okay.
incredible
But
ladies.
at least we
So we can
balance.
take this incredible one that's been waiting for a while
Yeah.
and the one in the green and maybe one gentleman as well afterwards to
Okay,
close.
okay, but let's do gentlemen, right? There's a guy, man, with the voice, man. Where is that guy? Where's our guy? Okay, guy, please think about the question, man. Yeah. All right. So let's go.
Good
Our
day.
guy with the golden voice.
Good day, everyone. I go by the name of Sivelen Dwanyaza. I am a grade 10 learner from Tabajabula, Soweto. First of all, girl, you're so gorgeous. And
It takes one to know one.
And I'm not a person of many words, but I would like to ask the most simplest question that no one has asked. What motivated or who inspired you to be a musician? Because nowadays I see that youth doesn't have someone who inspired them, because a lot of people just go with peers. It's okay, my friend is doing music, I should do music. Or my friend is going to science, I should do science. So I really wanted to know who inspired you or what motivated you to be a musician. Thank you.
Beautiful question. So I was inspired by where I come from before I was inspired by a person. As in Toga Zasemkungundlovu, I khulele Mbali E1, and I was inspired by the music that they were listening to at home. And me wanting to have that same effect that Upilani experiences when he's listening to Trumpis. I want to make someone feel like that. So that's where it came from for me. And it was never something I feel like I decided. I feel like it just, music brainwashed me. And I was always curious to listen to different kinds of sounds and explore different kinds of genres, different kinds of ways that people express themselves. But I would say, to make the answer short, my big three is Umamlete Mbulu, Miss Nina Simone, and Umambusi Mhlongo.
Great. Beautiful. Lady in green.
Good afternoon. My name is Luyanda. And my question is, as a performer, you spoke about harmony as it relates to music and people. As a performer, what I struggle with is focusing on the technical things, remembering what am I supposed to do here and there. So I tend to become very closed off and detached with the audience sometimes. So how do you harmonize with the energy of the room? And how can you tell the difference between when it's time to be in your little space and like letting go, you know, and just being in your own head, and also how to, when it's time to engage with the audience and let the energy bounce, you know, back and forth between you and the audience?
Beautiful question. So the first part of the question is the technicality and finding that mhlampe you don't remember that, oh, maybe this requires me to stand like this, put my diaphragm out, squeeze it in so I can get that high note, or whatever the case may be, keep control. I think that's where practice comes in. So practice is not saying that you're not talented. Practice is not saying that you're not gifted. And even if you're not gifted, if you work hard, you will be able to surpass a person who perceives themselves to be talented, right? So for me, I would say when it comes to technicalities, the only way around that is to learn your body and to learn your hands if you're using your hands. And the only way to do that is to spend time on it. So I encourage just regular practice. Get to know your voice. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? So you're not just in your mind when it's time for people to observe you. When it's time for people to observe you, then you know that everything, there's a muscle memory because I've done this certain scale this amount of times. I don't have to think about it anymore. It's like clockwork. The body remembers. So now you don't even have to say to yourself, okay, because Mina, I like to do these, right? So I don't have to like, okay, Zoe, put the diaphragm in. Because my body already remembers because I've been doing it like clockwork, right? Now you can focus on the art of performance. And the art of performance is not the same for every person. Mina ngiyagida. I love to move around. I love to own a space. I have a history in theater, so I love to engage people, look into their eyes, feel like I'm singing to that one person who's singing along to me. If they sing the words with me, then I sing with them. I hold a gaze. I know it's going to mean so much to them when they've gone home and when my makeup is off. I know that's going to, So try to also engage with different parts of the room. Even the people at the back that I think no one ever thinks about. You gaze at them, you command a space in that kind of way. But for some people, they sit on a chair. Gabong. You see what that silence is that people are waiting. They're tucked in. There's certain people who don't have to do all of these things to get attention from everyone. They just sit like this, and you're able to command from that sense of knowing. And if you are insecure, fake it! Who wants to see your fears? Can you imagine all of you just coming here and I'm just like, sir, it's so good to be here with you today. Fake it. It's performance. You're there to create a world for people. You're there to make magic with people so that they have an experience that they will never forget. It is about you, but it's not about you. But it's about you in the sense that if you tap into that fact that you have this gift and that you've spent the hours and that you've practiced, then you don't have to work hard at getting ownership of the space because you've already done all the other things. Nothing's going to tell you, oh no, I'm not sure about my technique. I've covered that. So now you just focus on zooming people in and creating a world that you love, a world that they love. And then everyone has a good time and tickets get sold. I hope that helps. I think there was one more question from the guy with the golden voice.
Yeah, there's another question also.
Don't you want to sing us something quickly?
Sing.
Just quick, fast. Yeah.
I don't have a singing voice.
You don't know how to?
I don't have a singing voice.
Oh, you have a, what voice do you have? A rapping voice?
Yeah.
Okay, don't you want to maybe give us a little something?
A little something?
Sure.
Oh my God.
But a quick one. Because now I'm stealing people's time. A quick one. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Hey.
Damn, my girl, you were a fallen angel and I knew the guy would let you land in my world. You followed with my footsteps, I can make you dance and twerk. But you're coming deep in my heart and goddamn, it hurts. Damn, it hurts. And I ain't gotta lie, it keeps going wrong. I wish I could really be a better guy. But you know what, hit the road, leave for you so I can live a better life. And I wouldn't give a damn if you turn around and run to other guys. It's your damn life, ain't your damn lies. I don't feel him. From now, if I see you walking with another guy, I'll kill him. I slit his throat, put his dead body in a boat, and that's different. Then I drop him in the middle of the ocean, start swimming. And baby girl, if you really love him that much, go fish him. You will not be in my thoughts. And when I start balling real hard, you will not be in my cards. I'm sick and tired, girl, sick and tired of the games. I'm exhausted. So do me a favor and pretend you ain't got a map. Get lost.
Hey! You better! You better! Okay. So, my good sir, what's your question? Say good deal, man.
I've been songwriting for about 9 years now and composing music and writing for a lot of artists more than I concentrate on myself. And I wanted to know, like, from your musical background, I grew up on a different one. Like, there's a lot of international, but it had a certain impact on how I saw. So I wanted to know, for the first time you composed a song and you felt like this is the song that I'm composing and it is the one, did you afterwards have any negative result to what you thought about what you had done?
So the self critique, right? I think also keep going, my guy. Keep going. It was beautiful to hear your gift. So I think when it comes to the self critique chat, right? It's important. it's important for you to be able to kind of create little goals for your creative self. It's okay. I mean, I'm not sure. Like in your case, you'd be like, hey, I'm not sure if this flow is flowing, in this section of my rap. Or I'm not sure if this double entendre is doing what needs to be done. I need like a bigger punchline to, translate what I'm trying to say more. I think that is important. To be able to say, okay, I'm studying myself. For example, with me, I look at my performances, not because I actually hate to look at my performances, but I love to critique myself. Because I can immediately see, okay, this works, let's do more of this. This doesn't work, let's do less. And I think it's the same with like self-critique in that sense. But at the same time, do not now diminish the thing that I like to call ingelosi. Like, do not diminish the angel of your creation. That very sacred space, that very personal space that you go to create. Do not then get ahead of yourself and then start criticizing whether you are even worthy of doing it in the first place. And that, for me, I find is where you then have to go and affirm and reset yourself a little bit differently. But it's important to critique yourself so that you are constantly getting better. So that people who come to your shows, for example, all the time, they're not seeing the same person. They're just seeing an updated software. It gets better and better and better. But at the same time, you feel good about yourself because you're putting the work consistently into what you're doing. So self-critique for improvement, yes. Self-bashing, no.
Sanibonani. My name is Pindi Wemabaso. Ngiphike kaBaba Maseko, ngiphuma senior group. My question will be, sorry, I wrote it down so I don't forget. What inspired the genre that you are in, specifically jazz? And again, what keeps you grounded as a woman within the industry? Because remember, you'd have abantu uyangena music industry and then uthola ukuthi umuntu akasustain because of the things that transpire within the industry as well. So when as a person and as a musician within the music industry, the industry that is predominated by males, rather, because you would find ukuthi abantu bazokutshela ukuthi sometimes females, there are certain things that you need to do within the industry ukuthi uzokhona ukuba relevant. So when as a person, how do you keep yourself grounded and how do you sustain yourself as well? Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful questions. Well, I think with the first one, it was about what the kind of like the choosing of my genre of music. I'm not a jazz singer. I know it's like, yes, we're doing a workshop at the Joy of Jazz. I get it. I get the malfunction. What do you mean, Zoe? I'm not a jazz singer. I am a singer who happens to sing jazz. As much as I sing music that is influenced by soul, indigenous sounds, mbaqanga, a little bit of maskandi, a little bit of West African sounds, R&B and soul with my other project that I'm a part of. So I am an entire singer who has equipped myself with tools by observation, tools by school, classical, jazz training, to have the tools that I need to do any kind of thing that I so choose to do or that I see myself being led to, So I did not choose this music, but I do know that the sound that I have is very much associated with jazz. It's more of like an adult African contemporary sound, a little mesh of everything. But for me, it was inspired by a lot of the people who I thought were cultural icons because I grew up to them. I loved their commentary on politics, on our social lives, on our everyday lives. I loved their love songs, so from Abo Chabukanyile to Abo Mamleta to, all the people that I mentioned earlier on. I really loved the things that they spoke about, and so I wanted to channel that. And because the body remembers, I know that I don't come from myself. I know that there is something in me that evokes sounds that are from here in South Africa, And so that will be a liken to African sounds and jazz sounds, and I'm able to then translate that to do what I do. Then when it comes to being a woman in the industry, I will say that I guess my perspective is that of a woman because ngumuntu wesifazane, obviously. But I think there's also a humanness that I never want to remove because I think what I'm going to say should apply to every kind of human being, however you identify as a human being. And for me, I think what has been a guide in this industry, because there's the talent, there's the gift, there's the 10,000 hours, there's this deep love that you have for music, and then there's music business. And these are two very different things. They are different in the sense, not to scare you, but they're different in the sense that you need to be able to switch yourself to deal with the other side of things, you know? So I'm always trying to marry both sides, be tuned up with my singing, with my actual gift, with what people watch, but also be tuned up with my brand identity. What do I stand for? I can tell you that at the drop of a dime, you know? What are the things that are leaning me? What spaces do I want to be found in? Like, these are all the things I'm constantly trying to engage. But I'm also trying to be a decent human being with all of those things. I have goals, I have dreams, I have aspirations. I'm sure like each and every single of you incredible people have, but I will not walk over people to achieve what I want to achieve. I will work alongside people and try with my utmost best to work from a place of honesty, a place of transparency, a place of integrity, to also set very clear boundaries that yabona ke manje angicabangi ukuthi ngizokweqela ngalapho kodwa ngiyabonga, but to also be able to honor spaces in the best way possible. So for me that really is just what it is, ukubona abantu, and not just what you can get from them, but to see a person ngoba ewumuntu, just as a common decency, and to be able to navigate from that, protect yourself where you feel, because your gut tells you, say is not make sure. Maybe let me go find out from someone. Maybe let me ask Usis Zoe on DM. Maybe let me go and find out from someone else I might look up to and ask the questions that I need. And then all the things you may not know, it's fine to have and to look for mentorship in spaces so that you are able to get to those spaces that those people have already. For me, for example, I know I'm doing the most, but just to close off, when I released my debut album, I had just come from UCT. I was not able to finish my schooling because my theory tekad. So even though I was singing with big bands and, you know, being that girl and all of that, my theory tekad. And so in that time, because I still had access to the practice rooms, I composed my first album, and I was able to ask some of the musicians that are going to be and have been on the lineup for the Joy of Jazz to help me with that music. But the person that really gave me practical advice, which I had to ask in questions, was Umsaki. I said to Umsaki, I do not know what I am doing. Sis, please help me. Please give me a comprehensive list of the things that I need to think about as a recording artist before I get into that space. And she's one of the people that have been able to guide me in that sense, you know. So, yeah. Take that with that what you will.
Isn't she lovely? Let's do something very, very special for her, okay? As I say, ladies and gentlemen, Zoe, we stand, we scream, I want to get this thing on this phone for her so that we are able to send it. This has been a lovely audience, I can tell you now. Yeah, we want to keep it.
Thank you all for your time, and may your blessings and your gifts take you to beyond your wildest imaginations. Keep dreaming. I know it sounds cliche, but do not give up on yourself and always go back to your center, your sense of knowing. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your ears, and see you at a festival, man.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe! Thank you very much.
Ngizwe kahle ngifuna ukushintsha umhlaba ngine nceba mina ngine nceba mina oleto isakazini Danko.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zoe Moriha. Thank you so much. Isn't she just lovely? Gorgeous? Hot? I did a video with her. Ne? Will you want again? You never know. Hey, you never know. Can I have Khaogelo Mutlomi? Khaogelo Mutlomi, are you in the house? Where's Khaogelo? Khaogelo, come. Can I have at Cheryl Seboka? Cheryl is actually at Shelore Seboka. Please come in front. Ndumi Omushe. Can I have Ndumi Omushe? Do you know why I'm calling them? Oh, you know. What do you know? Opamonye. Ndumi is you. Khaogelo Seboka? Seboka? Are you coming? She's not here? Are you the one? Okay, may I please have their gifts ready? They did exactly what they were asked to make comment and on social media platforms and tag Standard Bank and Joy of Jazz and ladies and gentlemen, your winners on social media. Can I have the gifts? Yeah, kids keep clapping. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we worked so hard together. You've been a lovely audience for me. As I said, I will share my number as well so that you feel free to communicate with us. We're not so far away from you. We are just one WhatsApp away from you at all times. 074 074 754 4477. I'll repeat it for the last time. 074 754 4477. I am Mandla Maseko, senior on all social media platforms, and senior spelled SNR at the end of Mandla Maseko. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we have a representative from Standard Bank who will share with us and announce a couple of things. And then after that, the gentleman with the saxophone. Are you still in the house? All right. And then who else has an instrument who want to showcase? One or two. I have they said that I must do something. All right, I will give you the chance so someone can do something. So, but we're gonna start with the gentleman with the saxophone. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the representative of Standard Bank.
Thank you. Wow, stage fright. I hope everyone is well and that you've had a very wonderful day today, and that it's been informative and fun, and that you can take all your learnings through to your future endeavors. Okay, so let's start with this first one. It's about the t-shirts. Just about a show of hands, who didn't get to design their t-shirt today? Did not. Okay, all right. So please, can you, once you're done here, please can you come and see me at the T-shirt stand by the corner outside in the garden area? All right, that's the first number A. B, in terms of the guys who actually did fill in their forms this morning and this afternoon, so your T-shirts will only be ready as of tomorrow. That's why we took their numbers down. And also, South Africa load shedding. So we would have liked to have had, deliveries starting from this afternoon, but we're going to be doing them from tomorrow. So we'll be calling each and every single person here tomorrow to arrange the deliveries to you. And I know that some of you are coming from schools. I know I think it was Mr. Rabete. Also your school as well, so we'll sort you out because you also came in just a bit later on. So yes, that was the announcement, just to make sure that we will be calling you as of tomorrow, arranging deliveries of your T-shirts, and those who didn't get a chance will get a chance afterwards. And then last but not least, some fun things or nice things. We do have some tickets to give away for the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz, but that's only if you open a MyMo account. So a MyMo, Standard Bank MyMo account. So we do have our representatives outside in the garden area. They are they're closer to the door where the stanchions are, the blue stanchions. You'll see them in that corner there. So open up and you'll stand a chance to win some tickets as well as 500 Rand Howler card to attend the Joy of Jazz on the Friday. Okay. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy.
Another round of applause for Standard Bank. We remain very proud for Standard Bank to be our main sponsor on this one. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done my part. It's been a short time. I enjoyed every single moment with you. In fact, they thought I'm coming to do a job, but this has been fun for me. It was worth waking up as far as Khamaila Mapizan in Skukun. So thank you very much. You are a lovely audience. I facilitate various sessions, but this one, it will be one of the best. I don't know what is it. So give it up for yourselves.